Hey guys, welcome. Today I wanted to do a quick video on the 3 different foundations that I have been using lately. And the reason I'm putting this video up is to hopefully help out my perimenopausal, menopausal friends out there who are going through a lot of skin changes. Now, a long time ago, when my skin was still really oily and there was full of moisture, my favorite foundation was always Estee Lauder Double Wear. And my shade in that is actually 3N1, and I do tend to get very tan in the summer. I travel a lot, and so I do get a lot of tan, but and that shade has always worked really well for me, and I'm only using that as a reference in case you're familiar with that shade. Now I'm going to talk about these 3 foundations or creams, CC cream, BB cream, that I have been using, and it's actually working really well for my skin now, my menopausal, post-menopausal skin. I'm talking about the IT Cosmetics Your Skin But Better CC Plus cream, the Clinique Moisture Surge, this is also a CC cream, and the the MISSHA M Perfect Cover BB cream. All right, and sorry, it's kind of reflecting a little bit on the the lighting here, but anyways, let's get started. So all of these creams I bought on my own, and I've had these for a really long time, especially this one here, the IT Cosmetics. I was always one of those shoppers, like QVC shopper, where if it comes in a package, with the blush and the powder and all of that, I was that person that would always buy the package. But for some reason a while ago, I could never make this thing work. I would wear it at work, and I work in an environment that it's indoors, and so it sucks the moisture out of my skin. So I thought that this would be perfect, but for some reason it never worked when my skin was really oily. And I would put it on in the morning, and by noon I would say it's kind of almost melted off my skin. So that was always really frustrating. I liked the idea of an all-in-one SPF plus a foundation type cream, because I'm kind of lazy when it comes to skincare and makeup and things like that. So I wanted a one and done kind of thing, and this never worked for me before. But let me tell you, now that my skin has changed so much, it works. It kind of comes on a little bit thick, a little bit more, because it is very creamy. It works really well for my skin now, so it might be something that you guys can try if you are menopausal. Now for me, I have this, believe it or not, I have this in medium tan. I used to get it in medium, and I think I even still have some of those, that shade in my storage, in the storage unit over there. But for me now, I use the medium tan, and I feel like it's a little bit forgiving for my skin, so I can actually apply it all over my face. I found before, when I use the medium shade, it would be like light in some areas and almost grayish, and I didn't like that. But when I switched over to the medium tan, it actually worked for me a little bit better. Now I have some notes here for myself regarding this foundation. But first of all, I bought this, remember I just said I bought this from packages that I would get, like QVC or even Ulta. Anytime they would have like a special or something like that, I was always a sucker for it, and I always loved, I felt like I was getting more so for my money if I would buy it like in a combination pack, and I always would purchase it through QVC, and medium tan is my shade. Now, price and value, I would say that these two, the Clinique and the IT Cosmetics, they're about the same. This is about $45 and this is about $39 or $40. But again, I always bought it in a package, so who knows, it's all factored in there. All right, now the shade match for me for the medium tan, like I said, it works really well because for those of you who would get kind of color on your face, get tan, if you use, like, say, a lighter tone like medium, for me, medium, I would feel like it would get kind of gray up here in the forehead area, and so it would always be really frustrating to blend out. The medium tan, I don't feel like there's a big change in color from my neck and my jawline here. There wasn't a very big transition. And usually if I have a lot of color on my skin, like I've been traveling or I've been at the beach or something like that, I will tend to just put a little bit less over here, you know, just so it blends a little bit and it's not that stark change. And how I apply this, this CC Plus cream is with a really dense brush like these, you know, and I feel I don't use my fingers, you know, because some people will like to use their fingers or their you know, their hands to put the makeup on. This, I will tell you, well, a lot of these BB creams, CC creams, they're so thick that it's actually hard to wash off of your hands, and I don't like that sticky feeling. So I always kind of just rely on super dense brushes like these, all right? These are older brushes, but I really love them. It's like a thick, kind of dense kabuki style brush, and I feel like that really applies it, and it applies it really smoothly on my skin. And I do have some fine lines, wrinkles right around my eye area here, and I know, you know, it's hard to see because of all the lighting here, and of course I have a hat. I'm sorry, I have hat hair today, and I didn't want to take it off, and you know, it just looks really bad. But anyways, so the It Cosmetics CC cream, I found that it actually starts to work. It's working for my skin now that it's a little bit drier. I do have to set this with a powder, and I use the It Cosmetic powder, and that works really well too. It doesn't settle in my fine lines and wrinkles, and it just sets it just enough to where it's not too drying. I do apply a setting spray like the Benefit facial spray, sorry, and I apply that, and then I'll apply a powder over it, and I find that this will last all day. Whereas before, a while ago, when my skin was before the menopause, before the change, I felt that it just, after like 4 hours at work, it would just be almost gone. And it would frustrate me so much because then I'd have patchiness on my face. But now I feel like I only have a little bit of oiliness around my nose and my forehead here. And I don't find that this will break down. Only if, like, obviously if I rub my face or blow my nose or something like that, I find that the foundation will obviously rub off on my phone or on Kleenex or something like that. But for the most part, it has the staying power now. I get it. I get why people use this, because for the long time I used to go like, what was the hype? I don't understand. You know, the CC creams, BB creams, I've tried them and they just weren't working for my skin. But now that I've got the menopausal skin, it does work. So those of you out there, don't give up hope. If you still have these in your cabinets, in your drawers, pull it out, try it, and start with a very small amount. I wouldn't go loading it up. Now they say try 1 or 2 pumps. No, don't do that. That's too much, it's too thick. Because the thing about this one is, out of all of these 3 foundations, or these BB cream, CC cream, this one applies the most full coverage for me. And if I even put like a full pump of this onto a brush, oh my gosh, I end up with so much product and it's just a waste. So I just do a little bit at a time and then just work in small areas. That's how I would do it, so that you don't feel that cakiness. That was one of the biggest complaints I had a long time ago with a lot of these cream foundations, is that I would feel like I was wearing a mask. And it wasn't until, and that's because I was following the directions of 1 or 2 pumps. And the thing is you can't do that. You know, you have to find your own special way of applying this product. And that's what I mean by, you know, start with maybe a half a pump and then just put it, you know, dot it all over your face, you know, dot it in different areas of your face, and then just kind of buff it out. And here's the other trick that I use. I always usually have 2 brushes. One is my working brush, and then the other one will be my buffing brush. All right, so I don't know if that would be very helpful for you guys, but if you find that a lot of these cream foundations, if these cream foundations are a little bit too thick for you, you can try that. Have 2 brushes. One is your working brush to get the product on, and then the other one, if you feel like it's just so thick and it's sitting on top of your skin, have a buffing brush on the side, so that way you can get some of the product off of your face so it's not so thick and you don't get that cakey, masky kind of feeling. All right, let's see here. I have a bunch of notes on my cell phone over here, so if I'm looking down a lot, that's the reason why. I just want to make sure that you guys get the information that you need. Now, the finish of these. I do have this in the oily version, you know, oily skin version, although that still works for me, but it's a little bit thicker now. The finish of this, I would say, is more natural, more satiny type of finish. You're not going to get a matte finish with this. Even when you apply powder on top of this, I've never ever been able to get a matte finish. And way back before menopause, never get a matte finish. That's why I have the oily skin versions of this, and still I would break through with my oil, my facial oil. So now I would say it's more of a natural, more satiny type finish, although I still don't like that kind of glistening skin, that oily look. A lot of people like that, and I've tried to make it work. I will see myself in the mirror, you know, after I apply a foundation that's really heavy on the moisture or the creaminess, and I'll look at my face and I'm like, oh, I'm greasy, you know, so then I gotta pat and get the oil off of my skin. I'm a child of the 80s, and I've always liked that matte look, even though it doesn't work for my skin anymore. So for this one, definitely I would say it has more of a natural finish for me, satiny finish, and I really like it now. All right, let's take a look. Lightweight, sticky. I wouldn't say that it's lightweight. I would say that it's more, I'd say a little sticky. I don't want to, you know, I don't want to deter you and from trying it. But again, I'm a child of the 80s, and so I like that dry, powdery feel. That's just kind of like, you know, when you get the cheap Maybelline drugstore makeup from back then, it's always that matte finish, really dry finish. But this is, it's a little bit heavier, a little bit stickier. And it does feel like I'm wearing makeup whenever I wear this. All right, so just to let you know, you're not going to have that feel like you're flawless or that you're not wearing makeup. No, with this, you know you have it on your skin. All right, and let's see how it looks like by the end of the day. I would say it now has staying power for me. I don't know how. I think it's just because my skin oil, my facial oils aren't, you know, it's not breaking it down anymore because I don't have that much oil on my face anymore. It's a lot drier. So it does, you know, I would say it does have good staying power, and it looks pretty good by the end of the day, because I will check my skin or my makeup, and like I said, I'm kind of lazy when it comes to my makeup. I put it on in the morning, and you just hope that it stays all day. You know, I'm not one of those that's able to touch up my makeup, and part of it is because I just don't have that kind of patience. And so I try to be very careful with application in the morning. I try to do a really good job, and that's why I have the two brushes. I apply the product, and then I make sure I buff it out really, really good and set it. And I just cross my fingers and hope that that it lasts for the entire day. I just don't like to reapply makeup. Downsides. Well, I would say the downside is the stickiness. You know, that's the part I dislike, but I dislike that about any kind of foundation. It doesn't have the smell or the scent of like sunscreen. For me, at least, it doesn't, well, it kind of has almost kind of like to me, like almost like a eucalyptus kind of scent to it, you know, but it's not the smell of sunscreen, you know what I mean? Because I don't like sunscreen. Although I do apply it, I wear it, but I don't like the smell of it. But it is thick, and you're gonna know that you have it on. But it helps with the moisture for my skin, right? Because what happens is when I use regular foundation now, I feel like it's really dry right around the eyes here and around the chin, like in this area, and I don't like that feeling, especially here too on my cheeks. I don't like that sensation. So I've been going towards the BB creams and CC creams, and it's worked out really, really well. Now, second one that I want to talk about, I really hope that this is coming into focus. This is the Clinique Moisture Surge CC Cream Hydrating SPF 30, and I have this in medium, and this retails I think around $45, something like that, at Ulta, and that's where I got this, I think, either Ulta or Nordstrom. But I bought this not with a big package. I just was curious and I got it a while back, and now I can use it. Out of all of these three, I would say this one is the one that's most full, because again, I'm still trying to work with it. I feel that this one, when you apply it, when you put it on your brush here, it really starts out as a light application. It's not like this one where when you apply this, it's like full coverage. You know what I mean? For me anyways. When I put a half a pump of this stuff on my brush and I apply it, I feel like I'm getting really good coverage. You know, like you don't need much of this stuff for it to work. Whereas with the Clinique, the first layer, when I put this on, I feel like it's really light. And it's like you got to go back over it again with another layer. And that's probably part of the reason why I'm not using it very much, is because I'm kind of lazy. and I feel like I shouldn't have to do that, you know. On the days that I just want something light, like I'm just gonna run out and do errands, right? You know, go pick up some groceries or whatever, but I don't wanna, you know, be completely without makeup, I'll put this on and it literally is almost like a tint or a cream, you know, a colored cream on my face. That's how it feels, because I can still see like sunspots. I don't feel like I have foundation on whenever I use this. So with this, it's almost like I have to build it up. And that's why I don't use this one nearly as often. And because I have this in medium, again, there's something about the formulation of this that when my skin has color to it, you know, if I've been out in the sun and I'm a little bit more tan, it almost looks a little bit too gray for me. And that's not anything other than just I chose this color and I should have maybe gone with a different shade. But with my makeups, I buy everything online because I don't like to go to the store. I'm a little bit of an introvert. I'm an introvert, and I don't like to go out there unless I absolutely have to. So what I do is I end up just winging it, and I just hope that I pick the right one, right? I try to rely on the descriptors that they have online, like, oh, this one is a golden warm color, you know, that kind of thing. Anyway, so this one, this is the Clinique CC cream. This one I use a little bit less, and I only use it if I want something very, very light. And I don't necessarily think I would repurchase this if I were to run out, okay? But let's see here. How does it feel at the end of the day? I mean, I have all these notes here. So why I bought it, I was curious, right? It's Clinique. You know, I grew up with Clinique. You know, I remember it in the 80s, and I thought, oh, I want to see if it works out for me. It's nice, you know. Is it as far as price, I feel like it's a little bit overpriced because you have to use a lot more of it to get the coverage that you might want. You have to reapply, and again, this is just my opinion. This is just for my skin. It might be a little bit different for you guys, but for me, I feel like you have to use a lot more of this in order to get that coverage that you would get with the IT Cosmetics. All right, shade match, we already talked about that. Medium, I was hoping that it was a little bit more flexible for my skin coloring. That was my fault. I mean, the best way to find foundation is to actually get it tested on your skin at the store, right? And I didn't do that. So, and application, same way that I apply it. I use the brush. I have the applicator brush, the working brush, and then I have the buffing brush to kind of just smooth out the edges so that there's not harsh lines. And it's not thick, and it doesn't look like I'm wearing foundation. It just looks like I have great skin, which I don't. All right, the wear. All right, so oh, let's do this. The finish, I would say this is a little bit more satin for my skin. All right, for some reason, I'll have a little bit more kind of greasiness by the end of the day with this one for some reason, but that's just my skin. So I will try to blot a little bit of the oil off so that the makeup doesn't break down by the end of the day. All right, Let's see, does it emphasize pores, fine lines, texture? I wouldn't say that it did, because it does. It doesn't do that for me because it is a cream foundation. It's not settling in on any kind of fine lines and wrinkles. It feels good on the skin, and I can, you know, it doesn't really have a scent to it, so it's really comfortable. It's just, I don't know, for some reason it just isn't clicking with me yet. Maybe it'll be better if I continue to use it, but I just find that I will gravitate towards these other two more often than not. I just use these for those light days. I think you would like this foundation if you really don't like full coverage makeup. I think you would like this if you just want to, if you already have great skin, congratulations. I think you would like it if you just kind of want to even out discoloration, things like that. But if you want full-on coverage, you're gonna have to reapply this, you know, like have multiple layers on it. All right, so that is kind of like a little bit of the downside, is that I feel like you have to layer this one versus this one or this one. All right, okay. Let's take a look here. The last one, this is the MISSHA M Perfect Cover BB Cream. Sorry, I can't read. Now this one, I got this again online, and I got this through Amazon. Okay, and I had several tubes of this. Is it a tube? I don't know. Several of these, and this one is in the shade number 27 Honey Beige. Guys, this is around $14, and sometimes it might even be on sale. Out of these three, okay, and I have more foundations that I'll go over, but these are the ones that I've used more often in the past year. And I've already gone through a tube of this. That's unheard of. I have so much makeup, you have no idea. I have so much, I have drawers. And this one, I've already finished an entire tube. This is my favorite. Don't know why, but it is. And it's only $14 on Amazon. I can even leave a link down below if you'd like. But $14, right? I mean, and this is number 20, oh, sorry, I can't see. Number 27 Honey Beige. And this is, oh, I love the finish of it. I love the, there's no scent to it. I love that it almost, how do I describe it? It just makes my skin look really, really good. Like there's not a blemish on it. It's not a full foundation, full coverage like this one. You know what I mean? When I wear this one, I know I'm wearing makeup. Okay? And I have it on today because I'm trying to finish this tube. This one is my favorite. And let me tell you, I'm trying to be a little sparing with this because it's like my favorite, and I've already gone through a tube and I don't have any more. And this isn't a sponsored video. This is all purchased with my own money. And so I'm trying to get rid of all of the IT Cosmetic ones that I have because I buy them in like gift packages, you know, so I have a lot of these tubes. But this one, I will repurchase this. In fact, I've been kind of wanting to repurchase it, just that fear of missing out or fear of running out. But I told myself, no, you got to go through all of your other foundations. Stop trying to hoard, you know. So I haven't purchased a replacement for this yet. Although as soon as this gets a little low, and I would say I'm about halfway through it already, as soon as this one gets low, I'm going to finish it, or I'm going to reorder it on Amazon. And again, I can leave a link down below if you'd like if you'd like to know my shade. All right, and why I bought it. I've always been curious. I've always been curious about this BB cream. I've heard, and it's not even, you know, I saw now on Amazon that there's a lot of influencers that use this, and I didn't even know. All right, I just kind of came across it. Sorry about that, my camera just cut out, but yes, I would definitely repurchase this once it starts to get really light. I still have about half the amount of this tube, but I'm trying to finish off some of these IT Cosmetic ones. Would I repurchase this one? Yeah, I think I would. I will tell you, there is a different IT Cosmetic foundation, moisture foundation. That one was my favorite. Oh, I love that one, but they discontinued it, and you know, I'm pretty sparing with that one. I can do a review of that one if you guys have it too, but anyways, would I repurchase this in the future? Only if it came in a package, like a gift package, you know. But this one definitely I would repurchase. Why I bought it? Because I was intrigued, you know, not because of any influencers. I didn't even know that it was an influencer thing until I looked it up on Amazon. And I think my very first tube of this, I think, believe it or not, I got it at Costco. I don't know about you guys, if you purchase cosmetics, beauty items from Costco. I do. I love it. And that's where I got my very first tube of this. And I loved it so much, I purchased another, but I bought it online. Anyways, price and value, absolutely great. All right, is it a shade match? Absolutely. That is the other thing that I really love about this one, is that this honey beige is such a beautiful match for my skin. Again, I'm 3N1 in Estee Lauder NC35, something like that, NC30, NC35, something like that in MAC. But I usually will go for a neutral shade. I wouldn't say that I'm warm, because anytime I purchase anything warm, it's too orangey by the end of the day. So I always stick to kind of neutral, maybe warm neutral, right? So anyways, honey beige, this, my goodness, is my absolute favorite. Application, same thing. I use the 2-brush method. I have my working applicator brush, and then I have the buffing brush that I use to follow it up with. Now the coverage is my most favorite. I feel like it's more of a medium to full coverage, and it really it evens out my skin tone, almost makes my skin very velvety, you know. And I don't, that's a kind of a weird description of skin, but it just kind of almost feels like there's a filter on my skin, and it's really pretty, and I love it. Maybe when I do my next video, I'll use it and I can say, hey, guess what I'm using. But really, really good, great shade match, great coverage. The finish is, again, very natural, but almost kind of a blurring effect. Not dry to where it almost is masky, not at all. I would say it's more natural for me. I really, for some reason, this one works so well with my skin. I love it. And it doesn't emphasize any of my pores, my wrinkles, nothing like that. Difficult areas, how it behaves around my difficult areas, like around the nose, around the mouth, or in the forehead, it doesn't break down. I've gotten into the habit of not touching my face, you know, because before I would, you know, do this kind of deal, or I would do this. And of course, that's going to cause your foundation to break down, right? I mean, that's duh. But before, and that would cause you to break out, and I got out of that habit. I don't do that anymore. So usually if I have any kind of breakdown of makeup, it's because maybe I've been outdoors, and it's really, like I was in Canada during the summer, and it was kind of warm, and I had this makeup on, and it really, by the end of the day, I didn't have any more makeup because my skin got a little oily and it broke down from the, you know, just being out in the sun and sweating and that sort of thing. So this broke down a little bit. But anyways, this one, it stays throughout the day. I never ever have to worry if I put it on and, you know, I do work, whatever, it'll last the entire day. Even now that my skin is a lot drier, and I do use a setting powder, the same one, like that Perfection, something like that, It Cosmetics, it stays the entire day. This is my absolute favorite foundation. So if you are considering, you know, which of these three might work for you, I would stay with the inexpensive one. And that's the thing that's really amazing about this foundation, about the MISSHA Perfect Cover BB Cream, is that it is inexpensive. Like, it blows these out of the water for my skin, you know, for how it performs on my skin, for as inexpensive as it is compared to these. Hands down, I mean, like, wow, you get so much more value here, because this one is 50 mils. This one is, I can't read, oh my gosh, 1.4 fluid ounces, or 40 mils for this one. And this one, where is it? This is 1.08 US fluid ounces, which is 32 mils for this one right here. This one has I mean, really, 50 mils for $14? Oh my gosh, that's really a steal. I already talked about what it looks like later in the day. You already know it doesn't break down for me. It works great. I can't really say that this one has a downside, to be honest. Like, I haven't had that experience for any of my foundations. Usually, you know, I'll kind of complain about something, like maybe this feels a little thick. You know, this one, I love this. Would I repurchase it? Absolutely. I already said that. But I'm just trying to get through my stash because I do have a lot of foundations. And I know before anybody gives their 2 cents and they say, oh, well, foundation will expire after a few months. You know, I paid a lot of money for these foundations. To me, if it doesn't smell, if it doesn't have an odor to it, like a weird funky odor, I'll keep using it. If it doesn't make my skin kind of feel weird, like if it's itchy or kind of stings, I won't use it, right? I'll throw it out. But I found if you shake it really well, take a foundation that's kind of like separated because you've had it in a drawer for a really long time. If you just shake it up really, really good, and then I apply it. If it's really broken down when I get it out of the pump, you know, then I just will throw it out. But for now, I mean, it's like I'm not going to throw out any of my expensive foundations just because somebody said that there's an expiration date on it. I'm just not going to do that. All right. So anyways, I hope that this has helped you out. These 3 foundations so far I'm trying to get through, and they are my favorites. And this one is the one. This is my holy grail one right now. The MISSHA M Perfect Cover BB Cream. I don't know why I can't read, sorry. And then my second favorite would be the IT Cosmetics Your Skin But Better CC Plus Cream. All right, so if you can get a hold of these 2, I think you might like it if you have that menopausal skin. I would say that this one has a lighter feel on the skin, whereas this one really feels as though you are wearing makeup. But if you like that feeling, this one is the one to go to. The other thing with this one, you don't have to apply more than 1 layer. You know, if you try that method of just applying it with a brush and then buffing it out with another brush, it really feels very seamless. But this one, I can always tell when this is on my skin, whereas this one I can't. All right, these are my favorites. This one, I'm kind of hesitant. I'm not sure if I'm going to repurchase it because I don't like the whole, I don't like the whole having to reapply more than once. All right, so hopefully this has been very helpful for you today. If you have any questions, let me know in the comments down below. Again, my skin has changed. I am 55 years old and I have a lot of, you know, I wouldn't say really deep wrinkles. The wrinkles that I have are on my forehead. And I think that's because I look up a lot because I'm really short. So I have, you know, wrinkles on my forehead, but, you know, just fine lines maybe here and there. None of these really emphasize that, and it feels really good on the skin. All right. Again, if you have any questions, put them down in the comments below. I really appreciate your time, and I really hope that this was really helpful for you. I was going to think about going through some other, I just said I wasn't doing that. Anyways, I was thinking about doing some hair care videos because my hair has changed. I know that I did a video earlier about the different purple shampoos that I use to help with the silver, the gray in my hair. Now that it's really kind of grown out, and I know you can't tell right now, but right here it's grown out quite a bit. I can tell you, you know, what's changed now that I'm, you know, of that age. My hair has gotten a lot drier, and I get a lot of breakage too, or I did until I made some corrections in my hair care, self-care, and it's really helped a lot. But before, when I was going through the whole menopausal body change kind of thing, oh my God, my hair was falling out, breaking, like literally just breaking. It was awful. Anyways, I'll do that video later on, and hopefully it helps you guys out. All right, thank you so much for being here, and let me know in the comments if you want me to go through any other foundation reviews. I can just keep pumping them out, you know, because I do want somebody to you know, get some benefit out of all of these foundations that I've purchased over time. All right, thank you guys. Have a terrific day. I will see you next time. All right, bye.